All right. How's it going? It's the Deadman's Tome podcast with your host, Mr. Deadman, Becky, and SK. How is it going?
Did you turn the background music down?
Oh, it's down. It's on the right channel this time. And ladies and gentlemen, this show is brought to you live deep in the heart of Meth County, Texas. With us tonight is the wonderful Leah Cutter. Man, I'm horrible with names. Did I get that right?
Yep.
Thank you. And she is a successful self-published author. So for all those writers who think it can't happen for you, it can. Okay? Pay attention. Also tonight.
For some of you it can happen.
It can happen.
Others of you are beyond hope. And it's just easier to face facts.
Yeah.
And by you, I probably am pointing to myself as much as anybody.
There you go.
Lord.
That's true, man. And also tonight.
Hey.
I gotta add that burn. Sorry, man. Something about a Florida woman later on tonight. Facebook ordered to pay up for every 21 fat shames, caption contest, and horrible covers making a comeback. We got something submitted for horrible covers. I think we have an ad.
I've missed that, actually.
All right, Becky, let's go take care of the ad.
All right. Need help with your book manuscript? Look no further. Freelance book editor Raven Ekman offers affordable reading and developmental editing packages, as well as a writer companion option, and is open for business. Check out her website for current packages, past client testimonies, and an up-to-date portfolio, and more. You can find her at a new book on books.com.
All right, so give that a check out, okay? Go look into that if you think that'll help you out. Now, one thing I want to remind everybody, we have a private show coming up this Saturday, okay? If you want to see me try to eat a bunch of nasty tasting jelly beans, the bean, what is that, bean boozled, whatever, Becky? Help me out with that. What is that? What is that stuff?
Bean boozled.
It's sour milk.
Bean boozled.
Like spoiled milk flavored, nasty egg flavored.
Dog food.
Dog food. Oh, God. That is this Saturday at 9:30. You got to be a patron, okay? Got to be a patron, but
and you better be a bean-eating fool too.
Yeah, because apparently I put it out there for a bet to be made, and a bet has been made. Becky, you want to tell them what's going on?
Yeah, the little devil bet me.
Little devil? What?
You big devil, tall devil, you.
Me? No way.
You. Way.
Yeah.
Man, I am so lost.
You bet.
It's okay, SK.
That you would fire me for a whole week. Well, the guy gave him a choice. He told him that he could either wax his crack on camera,
or have you gone for a week?
or losing me for a week. So he decided for a week of vacation.
Yeah, from what I understand, if I lose this Bean Boozled challenge, which is like if I stop eating the nasty flavors, if I just give up or spit it out or whatever, then Becky goes bye-bye for a week.
Wait, all you have to do to get rid of Becky for a week is to quit eating them?
No, man, I want to fight.
Where's the downside?
I want to fight for her. This is fighting for Becky.
Damn it, SK.
Oh, God. Yeah, so I will be a bean-eating fool there. But got to check out this Saturday. Okay, guys? All right.
Do they have bean-flavored jelly beans?
They probably do.
Why not?
Right?
I mean, that would seem like an oversight if they don't.
Yeah. Pretty nasty, but...
Well, they certainly have dog food flavored ones.
Yeah, and dead fish.
Yay!
Flavored. Dead fish. That's horrible. Okay, let's get into this. Let's get into this. So,
all right,
Miss Cutter, you were on the show before. You're returning. Mm-hmm. So, for those who are just tuning into this now, just a quick summation. Who are you? What do you do?
My name is Leah Cutter. I am an independent writer and publisher. My imprint is called Knotted Road Press. I primarily publish myself and my husband, Blaze Ward, who will be on your show later on. We do both fiction books. I've just gosh, I'm just finishing up my 42nd or 43rd novel with
Wow.
lots of short stories as well as lots of business books. The business book that just came out is my 12th business book. I am a full-time writer. I support myself with my fiction.
Okay, I like what you said there. You support yourself
Whoa.
with your fiction, not just nonfiction, but with your fiction. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, now, what would you have to say, or what do you have to say for all the authors listening right now, all the writers listening? They go BS, like they want to call your bluff.
I don't know. I've been doing this for a long time.
Yes.
And one of the things that I've learned is that there's no secret handshake. And that's what a lot of authors want. They want that one simple trick that they can do in order to get to the right place. And what they don't realize is there's no trick. There's no secret handshake. It's work. It's a lot of hard work. And so
Sounds
you
like
can call
dating.
me on my
So
worse.
it's not about knowing. It's not about knowing the right people, right?
Nope.
It's not about who you know or who you. Okay.
If you get that one special, that one review, you get that one interview, that'll just make everything.
Yeah,
That
and
isn't
that's
true?
not the case. No,
No
not
magic
at all.
beans?
There are no magic beans. There is no secret handshake.
Damn it.
It's work, and then it's more work, and then it's some luck, and then something happens, and because you have a plan, you change it, and you keep running with it, and so you can get there.
Okay.
But it takes time.
Okay, so I think I might know the answer for this, and I hope those listening, they might know the answer as well. But how did you achieve that? How did you earn that living off your work?
We have a lot of product. We go out. I publish something on the 21st of every month. My husband publishes something on the 10th of every month. We are in a lot of bundles. We both do blogs and social media. So it's not a single handshake. As I said, it's just a whole bunch of things that we do on a regular basis that builds an audience that then just continues to build.
Okay. Now,
So in baseball parlance, you're just going for singles and doubles and not home runs.
Correct.
okay.
Yes, that is exactly it. We are going for singles and doubles and not necessarily for home runs. If I get a home run, that's great.
Yeah.
What my husband says is that every time you publish a book, roll 6d10.
Hey,
Right.
I like that reference. Okay.
And so roll 6d10. You might hit the cultural zeitgeist. And actually turn into J.K. Rowling. But J.K. Rowling didn't start off as that.
Yeah,
She started off as an unemployed mom writing a story in her spare time. And so, yeah, there's a chance you could get that once in a lifetime deal. There's a better chance you're going to be struck by lightning. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Right.
Instead, do the work.
Okay.
It might be funner to
now,
get struck by lightning.
A lot of writers, when they hear this stuff, because it's true, you got to do the work to get it. It's not be given to you. You got to do the work. But of course, a lot of them, and myself included, all these excuses. Oh, but work. I work full time. I have kids. Did that? Now, did you? I mean, I take it that you started off maybe like working full time for yourself, or there's things in your life that were, like, I guess you say hurdles, but you got through that, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So take my husband, for example. He had over an hour commute every morning. He got up at 4:20. So he was out of the house before 5, was at work by 6. And then he had 2 hours to write every morning before he actually started his day job at 8 o'clock. So he did 400,000 words a year and was still working between 50 to 60 hours a week.
Okay.
Wow.
That's working for it, right? That's working for it.
And that's what you've got to do. You've got to want it. How badly do you want it?
Man.
Exactly.
Yeah, kind of. I really wanted it to have happened.
Yep, exactly. And that's what most people are. They want it to have happened. They don't want to actually do the work.
Oh, just a quick announcement real fast. Hey, if you're watching right now, press that like button if you're enjoying this. Share, subscribe. Sharing means a whole lot. You have no idea. If all you guys share a little bit either on Twitter or Facebook, whatever, let people know what we're talking about, that goes a long way. And of course, raising some funds for Deadman's Tome right here. If you want to chip in, whatever you can. I'm going to use the money towards covers and towards things that'll help out in that way. Okay, anyway. Sorry, I did do that quick announcement. So, but we write fiction. What kind of fiction? Because a lot of people listen write horror, but so what kind of fiction?
I write all over the map. I'm just finishing up a cozy mystery novel. I have fantasy of all sorts of genres, all sorts of things. Fantasy, science fiction, lots of different things.
Okay. All right. Now, is there a particular genre that does better than others?
You're looking for the secret handshake again.
Oh, God. I'm just looking for the trend.
Shame on you, Jessica. Trying to write to the market.
Trying to write to the market. Oh,
Exactly.
I'll stick to writing erotica under a pen name.
Yep. Or do that.
Sell my soul.
You know?
I feel like.
So there is no secret handshake.
Oh.
Is the pen name Big Daddy J?
No. Okay, some people was mentioning that on stream. I think Patty, if it's continuously spinning, I would say refresh, just refresh because it's green right now. Just refresh your browser and it should work just fine. Anyway, but you have a new book coming out. I think it's out now, right? The covers for the professional.
Covers for the professional publisher.
Professional publisher. Okay. All right. So tell us about this book.
So, the Business for Breakfast series is an idea that I got many years ago. I was trying to educate myself in terms of the business, right? And those great big huge incorporate your business books and tax deduction books and small business books. Those are a sure cure if you cannot sleep at night. They're just so dull. So what I would do is as I was eating breakfast every morning, I would read a small portion of it. And that's the only way I was able to consume those books. And so the Business for Breakfast books are purposely written in small chunks so that way you could just finish a little bit at breakfast while you're doing everything else.
Okay.
Smart.
So, bite-sized business advice.
Oh, that's cool.
And so this book, for the longest time, I really thought that all authors were capable of creating their own covers.
That's a good one.
Oh,
We have a whole segment dedicated to that. Dedicated to the opposite of that.
Unfortunately, I no longer believe that.
I should.
I just need a lot of help.
Let me guess. You saw one of my covers.
Hey!
Hey, I have some bad ones out there that I don't like talking about.
Some of my early ones are still out there and still suck and need to be redone. Eventually, you learn, and you figure it out. But the biggest thing that this book does is it's not teaching you how to do your own cover, because I don't believe that most authors can do their own covers. What it's trying to teach you is how to learn about covers.
How to learn about
because
covers.
You can have the prettiest cover in the world, and if it doesn't hit genre, and if it doesn't hit the tone of your book, you are actually doing a disservice to yourself, because the reader picks it up and you're making a promise to the reader by that particular cover. And they look at that and they say, ooh, this book is going to be about X. And then it turns out to be about Y, and they're pissed off and they will never buy another book from you ever again.
When I was about 12 to 14 and I started picking up my older brother's sci-fi books because of the covers, only to discover they had absolutely nothing to do with the story.
Yep.
It's like, I want to read about that, barely clothed woman and the monster that she's fighting, and there's none of that in the story.
Nope, and you can't do that because
Right.
now you're going to get 1-star reviews on Amazon, right?
Yep.
Or
Right.
people will, or if you don't have a cover that attracts readers, because readers do judge a book by its cover. That is your first selling. It is your first marketing opportunity. You have to have a good cover. You have to have a good cover that tells people what it is that is inside. Writers who say that their book is for everyone are lying, and they're lying to themselves. What you want to do is to get a cover that will self-select the audience that wants that book.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's true.
So one of the things. So how do you learn about covers?
Well, that's a good question. How do you learn about covers?
And a follow-up question: how do you know when you have the most effective possible cover for your particular book? I mean, out of all of the possibilities in the universe of what your cover could look like, one of them is going to sell the most.
Yep. Okay. Well, I'll get to that second.
Yes.
One of the first things that you need to do is you need to start figuring out. Okay. Sorry. Point one. What is your genre? That is one of the things that you're going to need to figure out about whatever book it is that you have. A lot of authors have no clue what genre it is that they write in.
Mm-hmm.
And so part of this learning process is figuring out genre and getting other people to read your book and tell you what genre it is. Where do they expect to find it in the bookstore? Once you have figured out your genre, then you go to at this point, traditional publishers are still the big dogs in the fight, and they're still the ones that are directing all cover trends. So once you figure out what your genre is, you find a traditional publisher who is publishing that genre and sign up for the newsletter. Once a week, they're going to send you a list of all of the books that are coming out that week in that genre, and you can start looking at the covers. It takes you a couple minutes a week just to look through that email to start getting trends. So that's one of the first things that you start to do once you start to study covers, is you start getting email, really easy email, from traditional publishers about what those covers are. So next question was, how do you know that you have the most effective possible cover? You don't.
Oh, man. Wait.
Again, secret handshake.
Wait a minute.
Secret handshake.
I don't want a secret
What?
handshake.
What you do is you find a cover that is working.
Oh, wait.
Okay? That's all you can do, and then you change it.
Oh.
One of the things, now, do you remember those old covers from the 60s and 70s with the burly, men on the front and the monsters and everything like that?
They still have them in the right area.
So dated. Yeah. Those look so dated today. If you look at covers that are 10 years old, even in science fiction, they look so dated. One of the things that you have to accept as a self-publisher is that every 5 years or so, you're going to have to update your covers. So while you can get the most effective possible cover that's selling a lot right now, guess what?
Yeah.
You might have to change it in 5 years. What is currently the trend might no longer be the trend. If you're writing romance, man, you're going to have to change your covers a lot faster. They go through iterations so quickly, and it's going to be more like every 2 years.
What the hell?
Oh, yeah, you're talking about romance too, not just erotica. Erotica seems pretty easy. Sorry, not that I have an experience from that. But this requires
It depends
research.
on your erotica.
This
But yeah.
requires research. You have to actually look around and see what other people are doing, what sort of covers they're using.
Exactly.
But Jesse, you notice the key element of what she said is you look not just what other people are doing. She's saying, don't look at the indies, look at the traditional covers. Mm-hmm. The covers from the traditional publishers, not the indies.
Yeah, but also, well, yeah, I guess so. I mean, I guess that works, huh? If you look at because sorry, I can't even speak right now. Some traditional publishers, they release covers that are like a what? What is this? I'm
Yes,
just thinking of a few
I
where it's
agree
like,
with you.
like Anne Rice titles. They've always been bad with like covers. And like, what is this? What is this nonsense?
Yep, but that is a single example. That is
Yeah.
not all covers.
Right.
Now, what if you looked at ranking?
By the way, if you go to
Oh.
the Brene Brown Netflix special, she talks about her experience with getting the cover art figured out for her book. It's pretty funny.
Oh,
The concepts that came from the publisher were not really great.
I bet not. I bet not. So it pays to keep in mind what's going on. And what do you use to track that? I mean, are you using based on Amazon stats? Or are you using certain tools to help you track and see what's doing well selling wise?
So one of the tools that we use is called Tracker Box.
Tracker Box. Okay.
Right. Are you familiar with that?
Never heard of it.
I'm not. Is it kind of like
Okay.
well, yeah, just tell me about it.
Tracker Box is software that runs on PCs, and he's doing a version for the Mac.
Okay.
That will, what you do is you put all of your different spreadsheets in it, your spreadsheets from Kobo and from Amazon, as well as from Ingram Spark and every place. And all of those spreadsheets or spreadsheets come in different formats at different times. You put them all into Tracker Box, and it puts out pretty data and maps and charts and everything like that. So it becomes much easier to track what your books are doing across all platforms.
That's very cool. Okay.
So it is not online. This is one of the things I hate about some of the other tracking tools that they're all online. And so you have to give them your password, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What happens when they get hacked? It is no longer a question of if they get hacked.
It's
Everybody
when.
will get hacked. It's when, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Tracker Box is software that you buy,
Okay.
you purchase, and
You purchase it.
download. So it's a
And they
one-time deal.
never have your passwords.
Right, exactly. You upload all your own spreadsheets to them.
Okay. Now, is it kind of like Kindle Spy, where you could like, is that what it was called, or KD Spy, where you can like see how other people are
KD Spy.
ranking? KD Spy, where you can see like the ranking of other people and what's selling.
No,
and-
this is just for tracking your sales.
Okay.
Keep your eye on your own paper. I don't care what other people are doing. How am I doing?
Okay.
Right.
But, okay. Now, I mean, have you used a tool like that before? I mean, have you like for tracking for like trends and stuff? Like do you pay any attention to that?
Why am I tracking a trend?
To see how the market's going? I mean, I would think it would be useful.
Because you're looking for magic beans.
I guess I'm looking for magic beans, but I mean, after that, I would think it would be helpful.
Exactly. Why are you looking at trends? Why are you not writing the next book?
So I know what.
Uh-huh.
So I know what keywords
I'm sorry,
are.
I'm sorry.
Well,
I'll
I mean,
stop
it is
picking
kind of
on
a silly answer
No.
because there is a use in tracking trends, though. Tracking what trending
Why?
keywords. Well,
Why?
Okay, if we're listing, putting your book on Amazon, right? I mean, you're not just going to put just any keyword. You're going to put the keywords that are effective, right? I mean, I know what you're saying. I'm not saying magic handshake or anything. I'm just saying that.
Okay, but okay, you could possibly do that, but chances are you haven't. Okay, I am not writing to market.
Okay.
Therefore, I don't care what the trends are. I want those categories to be accurate.
Okay.
I'm not looking for a niche category that is soft,
Okay.
that therefore my book might rise in the ranks. I am instead looking for accuracy in categories. So I do spend time looking at categories and things like that, but it's more to see what people have out there rather than tracking some sort of trend that I might, oh my God, suddenly get a hold of, and therefore I have found the secret handshake.
I see. No, a lot of writers they do think like this. They think, okay, I gotta see what the trend is, for the keywords and see what's selling that way. But I see that, while I'm talking like this in that frame of mind, of course I do realize that, I mean, you built success on the model that you're using. It's working for you, and you're right. You have a point. Just focus on yourself. do your thing, and don't just worry about everybody else.
Yep.
And keep cranking.
Yep, and keep cranking.
All right. So what else could we learn from the covers for the professional publisher?
Fonts. Fonts are really important.
Oh, fonts, yes.
Oh, yeah. Fonts are
Lord
really
love a duck.
Oh, yeah. So one of the resources that I have in there, and if you remind me, I'll send you a link. There's a PDF there's a link to a PDF that contains a whole bunch of fantasy fonts, a whole bunch of science fiction fonts, a whole bunch of paranormal romance fonts. So that way you can start looking at what are the trends in these fonts. What do these sorts of fonts, what does a fantasy font look like? What do most fantasy fonts have in terms of similarities, as well as differences? What do science fiction fonts tend to have, and things like that? And I've written a note to myself to send you a link to the PDF.
All right, so you're looking at what the sort of fonts that the books are using. I mean,
yeah.
Okay.
So that would be a trend that I would follow.
All right.
And getting the emails from say Tor or from Orbit or something like that, those are trends I do follow because I'm following what covers are going to be looking like. What is my reader going to be expecting in terms of a cover? For example, I was just doing a deep dive on dark epic fantasy. What does a dark epic fantasy cover look like? It's generally a single figure. Mm-hmm. They're generally dark in color. The fonts are sans serif or slab serif or something like that. The blurbs are all about kings and queens and quests and things like that. So, yeah, so I just did a deep dive and I nerd out on that. I'm sorry.
No, that makes sense though.
Are romance covers ever going to be anything besides, script font?
Right?
At this point, no.
No. Right.
Yeah, at this point, no, they're not. They're all going to have that script font. That's what they're going for. That's what they like. I don't see any changes in that trend at this point. I also don't see any changes in the trend for science fiction of slap a spaceship on it.
Yeah.
Right.
So put a spaceship on it, man. It's sci-fi. You're good. Mm-hmm. Except that there's a lot more planetary science fiction that's being done. And so you'll have a spaceship with planet.
And a planet.
Yeah, exactly.
And
fantasy.
Oh, go ahead.
Go on.
I was gonna say a young adult, post-apocalyptic usually has one person on the cover. It's like the backside, and they're kind of turned a little bit towards you, just a bit, maybe.
Exactly, and
usually
that's
usually a girl.
That's much more paranormal romance. With the young adult, there will be a figure, but frequently it's going to be more than one figure, and it's going to be hazy, and they might be shadowy or something like that.
Hey, I just had a question. Is there a correlation between film genre posters and book covers?
There is not, but I keep thinking that there should be.
Yeah, right?
I really do. I keep thinking that there should be. The thing is, though...
unless there's a direct tie-in, right?
Right, unless there's a direct tie-in. Fantasy and science fiction covers tend to have that hyper-realistic but not photographic nature, right? Mm-hmm. And films are photographic in nature. So a mystery novel, which tends to have much more of a photo type of cover on them, that might be influenced more by movie trends and like that. But science fiction, fantasy, romance, you're not using people.
You're not using people.
Oh.
Yeah, you're not using people.
You're using elves or something?
You're using elves, you're using spaceships, you're using a dark and dreary woods in the background and things like that.
Okay. So how much time do you spend researching this?
Probably too much.
Too much? Okay. So,
Okay, so how much?
Every time I go to a bookstore, right?
Every time I go to
I
a
no
bookstore.
longer look at books in a bookstore. All I'm doing is looking at covers.
Okay. All right, so you're looking at
I'm
covers.
just walking up and down and looking at covers and seeing what it is that people are doing for covers and what cover design is happening and what sort of branding is going on. There's some real interesting trend in some of the older mystery books where they're now going with the retro covers. I mean, really 1950s retro. It's
Okay.
cool. Yeah.
Which genres are doing this?
Mystery.
Mystery.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All
Mystery
right.
is
Time to
starting
write
to
a,
do that. It's really cool.
all right, I'm going to use that trend to write a mystery book and use that cover.
Yep, exactly.
All
Exactly. And so if it's more of a crime fiction sort of thing, if you're writing a cozy mystery, you still got to be cutesy.
Yeah.
What, put it like a stuffed bear on the front of it or something? That wouldn't be cutesy.
If you're in a teddy bear convention series of cozy mysteries, yes, you put a stuffed bear on the cover. There is a series that are the teddy bear convention mysteries, and they go to teddy bear conventions. Happen all over the world.
Wait.
This couple attends them and solves crime.
I was just joking. What? Is this real?
It's real. It's a thing.
It's real.
Oh, man, SK, see what's going on now? I can't even make a joke without it being real. Oh. Okay, if I put a cutesy pony on the front of it, would it be okay?
Yeah, a brony.
No.
Okay.
There's a whole line of cowboy erotica. You just don't even want to go there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can you help me with that? Because maybe that's what I'm working
No.
on.
So
No.
what about, is nonfiction as strict as fiction genres for covers?
Yes and no. Because I do a lot of nonfiction. Nonfiction is all about the branding versus the genre, right? Mm. So you want to make sure that you get the right branding for that cover as opposed to the right genre.
Okay.
Tell me what you mean by that.
The business for breakfast covers are so homey. They're they're for artists. They're not for business people. If you're looking for business books, you're going to have like the classroom situation with people studying and stuff like that.
Heavy fonts, heavy block fonts.
Okay.
Exactly. That
makes
kind
sense.
of thing. And that's not what I have on the business for breakfast covers, because it's not those types of books. They're for artists. They're not for managers who spreadsheets.
That's interesting. I like it that you said that, because that's exactly, that's my interpretation of the book right here, just from the cover alone and just from what I read is like, this is something more for artists, right?
Yep, exactly.
This isn't like the boring classroom book.
Not in the least. Not in the least. And so that is one of the big differences. It's because you're trying to get that input pack. So right now I'm doing a book for a friend, and was doing research on covers. And so one of them, which was really effective, it was about creating a cash-based therapy business, right?
Okay.
And the title of it is "Fuck It."
Fuck
It. With an asterisk in the U instead of it, and breaking free of the insurance business.
Well, there goes our monetization for this episode. I'm just messing. They're never monetized. They're never monetized. It's not you.
We
it's
say
us.
fuck it to monetization every
Yeah.
It's a good one. It's a good one gag.
You should have heard what I said last week.
By the way,
last
if you have strong profanity in your title or subtitle, Amazon will not accept ads.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. How do you get around that?
Or lewd covers.
Oh yeah, lewd covers.
Yeah, exactly. So one of the things that you have to think about when you're creating your cover is not only does it look really pretty on my computer display, what does it look like in thumbnail?
Good one.
You know, is the title still legible in thumbnail? It may or may not, depending on your genre. Your author name needs to be legible. You know, YA, the author name is smaller, and so the author name is not legible in thumbnail, and that's important.
To make it not legible?
In thumbnail.
Okay.
When it's a bigger blown up cover, then the author name can be legible. But if it's a smaller YA cover, generally the author name is not legible. And,
I wonder how that trend started.
It's just general.
Like for YA, like how did that trend start? Dude, like young adults, do they not care about the author? They just care about the title? I mean, that's...
I do not know. I just know. When I asked a young person about this, she said she said, well, if the author's name is really big, then I feel like they've got a really big ego. And I'm not going to want to read the book.
Okay. So if it's teeny tiny.
Interesting.
I have no
idea.
ego.
So when I asked a teen that was their response, and I'm like, okay, that's that's an
you know what?
That might be it.
There's probably a shitload of truth to that too.
Yeah. All right. So
I have seen. I mean, everybody's seen those covers where, you know, the author's title dwarfs the author name dwarfs the title of the book.
Yeah. Yep. Stephen King.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like.
Yeah.
Okay, King, we get it. It's you.
Yeah, BNA, big name author. And the reason it's called a big name author is because on the cover of their book, on the cover of their book, their name is that large.
Yeah.
And so big name author, that is because New York started making their names bigger. And you wanted to become a big name author. When indie came along, everybody became a big name author automatically.
I guess so. Oh, I mean, if you worked for it, I mean, there's a lot of people trying to work for it now and listening to this and probably wondering, how can I do it? How can I get that magic handshake? Look for the magic beans. You got to work for it. You got to work for it.
And you,
like you mentioned earlier in this podcast, like you guys churn out material on the regular, like a machine. I don't know how y'all do it, but y'all do it.
We want it that badly.
What's your
and it's their job?
What's
too.
your ultimate?
That's what they do.
What's your ultimate objective then?
To write all the stories.
But you'll never do that, right?
I know, but I can still try. I would like
I mean, is there a point where you go, it's enough?
Nope. I'm still breathing, therefore I'm writing.
Oh man, that's dedicated. That's dedicated. I'm still breathing, therefore I'm writing.
That's not dedication. That's obsession. All right, let's just call it as it is.
If I'm still breathing tomorrow,
there are much worse obsessions, I gotta say.
There are much worse obsessions, but I agree with you. It is an obsession. I am breathing, therefore I am still writing. Can we shift over and talk a little bit about branding?
Sure.
Because that's one of the things that you do with covers is that you've got to brand the series, right?
All right.
Whatever series it is that you have, you need to brand it. You need to make sure that your fonts are matching all the way across and your covers are matching and that you've got the same genre in all of your covers. Mm-hmm. God. Yeah. I cannot tell you how many people I have looked at and it's like, book 1, God, that's a great fantasy. Book 2, wait a second, we're suddenly post-apocalyptic. Book 3, yes, that's a fantasy again. No. One of the things when it comes to author branding, and this is for your personal brand. We're not talking about the external brand. We're not talking about what it is you put on your covers or stuff like that. We're talking about what are who are you as an author brand?
I mean, like social media and stuff, or just talk about related to the book?
This is much. It's actually beyond social media, because it's going to be part of your social media process and presence, but you have to define what that presence is. And so one of the questions that helped me figure out what my author brand was, somebody was going about and was like, well, why do you write? And it's like, because I'm still breathing. It's a stupid question for a lot of writers. I'm writing because I'm still breathing. What matters is, why do you publish? Why do you publish? Why is it that you want to share these stories with other people? What is it that you have that you want to say? And so I know for a lot of writers that response is, I'm an entertainer.
Yeah.
And I'm an entertainer. And remember, we always as a society have paid our entertainers.
Yep.
Information may want to be free. Entertainment, you pay me, honey.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. That is not my response. My response is, I'm your tour guide.
Tour guide.
I have seen some really weird, whacked out shit, not just out in the world, but also in my head. Come with me. Let me show you this new place. Come someplace new.
You're like Willy Wonka. Kind of, sort of, maybe.
Maybe.
I like that.
Yeah, let me be your tour guide. Let me show you this new stuff. And so that is part of my author brand and my messaging all the way across every newsletter I write, every blurb I write, everything like that, is that you're going to experience something new. So let me turn it around. Why do you publish?
Publish to pretty much to entertain. I think when you say entertain was that the reason I publish the things. The reason why Deadman's Tome published the stuff that it does is to kind of stand out and be unique. And I know it's hard, so it's like, how do you do that? I mean, everyone's trying to be the most. It seems like everyone's trying to outcompete being the most brutal and transgressive, and then there's others trying to be like mainstream and like, I guess, middle of the road. But lately it's just like, if this theme sounds right, that's it, and that's what I want to do. It sounds fun. Let's just have fun with it. So, for me, it's
and so that might be something that you're going to need to focus on then, in terms of your messaging on your website, in terms of all your blurbs, that you're going to like this because it's entertaining.
You know what? Now you have me thinking. Now I want to look over and see, am I putting that message out there first? Entertainment first, having fun first. I think I do that with
and
the
fun,
podcast
and make sure
here.
that's also in your newsletter then, right?
Okay.
And it's part of your blurb. It's part of your bio.
Yeah, you got me thinking about this. Look at that. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. What about you, SK? You thinking?
Yeah, it's very plain to me now, thinking in these terms, that entertainment is a huge part of it. I mean, entertaining has always been a part of my life since I was, 3 years old, put on stage. And it's one of the reasons why I like doing this show, because it's part of that. It's part of that entertainment brand for me. And it's what I post about. But I also do serious stuff, I write a lot of serious stuff, but I want to entertain while doing it, because I think writing just boring shit just bores people and they don't get the information. So I like to mix that up. Informative entertainment is what my nonfiction has been. And the fiction is just plain entertainment. And I'll probably end up doing a one-man show one of these days, because the show's the thing.
I think you could do that.
And the show's the thing. The book is the thing. That sounds like a good tagline that you could work with.
The show's the thing.
I didn't actually think of that one.
No, that's a well-known phrase.
That's been around a while.
Yeah, that's been around a while. But this book is the thing, or this book is the next thing, or something like along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning a lot here. I'm learning a whole lot. Oh, what else about branding?
Boy.
What else? I mean,
That's real
no. Do we learn about branding in this volume 12 covers for the professional publisher, or is that a different book?
No, it's a different book that I'm actually in the process of writing currently.
Okay.
And trying to figure out how to get authors to figure out what is their brand. And again, to me, it feels as though there are two parts to your branding, right? You have the internal, what is it about me? Why do I write? What do I need to do in terms of my messaging and things like that? And then you have the external, which is how do I convey this to the world? How do I make sure that this messaging comes across? How do I make sure that I am targeting the audience that is going to want this book?
Okay. And what have you learned about that?
It's not easy.
No.
It is not easy. And again, this is one of the reasons why I was doing the deep dive on dark epic fantasy, because I have a dark epic fantasy trilogy that I'm going to be releasing next year. It's already written. It's right now going through first readers and things like that. And then I'll go through copy editing, etc. And so what do I need to do in terms of the blurb? What do I need to do in terms of the cover? And what do those covers tell me about the audience that buys these books? And so doing a deep dive in that, it looks as though it's split between men and women, but my gut says it's more men than women that are reading the dark epic fantasy. I could be completely full of shit, okay? This is just me after having done some research, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, see, I always thought it was more women that are reading. Is it?
It depends on genre.
Depends on genre. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It depends.
The
not
dark
just on
epic
genre,
fantasies. I would bet that's pretty evenly split.
Yeah, it might
just
be,
my impression.
Yeah, it might be pretty evenly split, but it's like, who are they marketing towards? And a lot of it is guys on the cover, not women.
So there you go.
And that's one of the reasons why I was wondering whether or not they were marketing more towards men than towards women. I am uncertain, because then they start talking about kings and princes and I don't write about kings and princes and queens. I just don't.
Yay!
I mean, you can't shoehorn that into your blurb and be like, "Oops, I'm sorry. I thought it was a king of a different kind. I don't know." Lie to your readers.
I just don't do that. And so I'm trying to find dark epic fantasy that's going to be vaguely similar to what I write, and there's nothing.
Isn't it amazing how many people were Charlemagne in past lives?
Yeah. Honest.
I mean, you weren't. I mean,
I really wasn't.
Really was not. Yeah, and so trying to figure out, because I do write all over the map, and I do write stuff that is not heavily targeted, shall we say, towards a specific genre, trying to make sure that I am still signaling to the readers in that genre that, hey, this is like that thing, but it's different.
Okay.
And then and so that comes back to the covers. What am I doing for the cover treatment? I was really excited by the trend that started with the Game of Thrones, which was a single iconic thing in the center of just text, right? So you had a white background, you had text, and then you had a single, like a chalice or a sword or a mountain or something like that. And I'm like, oh, I can do that. That's an easy cover. I can do that. And that's no longer the trend.
No. And then you had Twilight.
I'm gonna have to change.
Twilight just had like with the what they have, like the chess pieces. I don't even know. Like I even care.
Yeah. Susan Collins with the Hunger Games, that had that one iconic image right in the center. Yeah,
that's true.
But that trend is kind of going away, and I'm sad. I'm sad because that was an easy trend. It was. That was an easy trend.
I haven't really paid attention to the trends in horror covers at all. You know, lately I just like I got a cover guy's like, draw me a cool cover. He draws cool covers. They look kind of like, I guess, kind of comic bookish, kind of in a way, but not. But yeah, do you know anything about the horror covers?
That brings up. Oh, go ahead. I have a follow-up question.
Okay, I am right now on Amazon. I am looking. Where is horror? What is it? What is the thing that it's under? Is it?
It's not really
sci-fi
there.
and
it's like ducked. It's like.
This is not good.
Yep, that's not the genre you want to
we're
write.
the redheaded stepchildren.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to be following trends or anything, but that's not the trend you really want to get into.
Yeah. So it's. Yeah, under books you have suspense, occult, supernatural, literary and fiction, thrillers and suspense, ghost fiction.
Yeah.
Yay, all like that. Supernatural horror. Yeah, art of horror movies, best new horror. Yeah, one of the problems that you're going to have with horror is that you're going to look at those horror fonts and those are fucking unreadable. Oh my God.
Yeah, see, I don't even follow those. I look at all those.
No.
What? No.
Yeah, those are unreadable. Oh, that's another thing. If you've got I had a friend who just did a cover, and it's the name of the character, but her name is Spanish. It is not English. It has accents on it, and you cannot pronounce it. Do not do that.
Yeah.
Do not put a cover on something that people will not be able to search for because of the diacriticals, and will never be able to pronounce.
Right.
Yeah. I'm looking at some of these covers, and they're just I can't read it.
So this actually is a nice segue into my question. Is
sure.
So as an author, you hire somebody to build you a cover, and they send you something. How do you judge if it's a good cover or not?
This is when you have to go and do your research, because it will probably be a really pretty cover because you've hired somebody to do it.
Right.
The question is it on trend? That's what you need to be looking at, and that's when you have to really know your genre at that point, so that way you can look at that cover and say, okay, this meets genre criteria in this, and it's missing in here. So that way you can go back to your cover artist and let them know that, we need to twist, we need to tweak this so that way it actually fits in genre. I went through 99 designs for some of my covers.
Okay.
Yep. And so one of the Cassie books, Poison Pearls, all like that, that is urban fantasy. And so I specified very clearly I needed urban fantasy covers. And I'm getting YA, and I'm getting horror, and I'm getting all of these things that are absolutely not urban fantasy. It was astonishing. And that's when I came to realize that, no, I, as the author, I need to know what my genres are. I need to know what that stuff is if I want it to work right. Because, yeah, they were really, really pretty, and there were some amazingly pretty covers. But it wasn't genre. It wasn't hitting genre hard.
Okay. So you got to be mindful of that.
You really have to be mindful of that. And seriously, you people who are doing horror covers, get them in a readable font. Put the
well, hopefully not seeing a Deadman Tome cover over there.
Much.
Our covers are readable.
Put the damn title in a readable font.
So you're saying it doesn't have to be a blood streaking
for a long time.
Oh God, no, because you can't read it.
Yeah.
But
You
that's
can't
part
read
of
it, and
this part makes it creepy and scary. I'm just messing with you.
no, your picture should make it creepy and scary if it needs to be creepy and scary. You can do it without that horrible cracked font. And also, now this is the third cover that I've run into where you have one or two really little teeny tiny words with a big word underneath, and it's like, I can't read what any of the rest of that is. And so I think that your title says just beauty. No, it's this whole very long title. No, don't do that either.
Okay. So when does your branding book come out?
Give you a title to a book to look at. It has horrible font.
I know what I think I know a publisher you're talking about, but I won't even say.
I think you do too.
I'll stop it there.
I'm trying to be good. It's hard, but I'm working on it.
Let's be good. But
I am.
So when does the branding book come out? You said you're working on that one.
The
right
author
now.
branding book, it'll be next year.
Next year, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I'm going to Nink this year. Nink, which is Novelists Incorporated.
Okay.
It is a business group. You have to either have had a good publishing traditional contract with and making X amount of money, or if you're an indie, you have to have at least 2 titles that in a 12-month period each has made over $5,000.
Oh,
wow.
Shit. Okay.
Okay, in order to join.
All right.
Both my husband and I are members.
Okay. Look at that. So for anyone who for some reason was doubting our guest here, Miss Cutter is not BSing you. Okay. I know. So even I was like, well, we don't follow trends. We don't look around, because I caught myself. I was like, but you gotta look, right? Oh no, don't be looking for the magic handshake. Don't be looking for the magic beans.
No. No, put your butt in the chair, fingers on the keyboard, write some words.
Now I will say a lot of horror publishers.
That sounds really complicated. Maybe you should say it again.
I'm such a hard ass when it comes to that. Yeah, sit down, shut up, and write.
Sit down, shut up, and write. Hey, that sounds like a title for a book.
Yeah, that.
Can I please use that line?
Sit down,
on
shut
him
up, and
every
write.
once in a while.
Put on a shirt.
Yeah, sit
I'm
down,
gonna
shut
use
up,
it on
and write.
you.
Nah. All right.
Yeah.
And that's the magic handshake. Sit down, shut up, and write.
Oh, so there is a magic handshake.
Yeah.
Okay. If I sit down and shut up and write, it will come. All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's so much a part of it. And then study this industry, study the trends, study what's going on. One of the other things that we regularly subscribe to is Publishers Weekly. They actually send out a daily email of news, publishing news, and what's going on there. For example, Simon Schuster has now joined the absolutely stupid trend that they're no longer going to be selling books to libraries. Instead, they're only renting them. And so...
Are you serious?
Yes, I am serious.
How the hell does that work?
A library will only be able to have a book for 2 years, and then they will have to either rebuy it or something. I don't know.
Why?
Are they desperate for money or something, or like what's going on?
Well, yes,
they
they
don't
are.
believe that libraries produce readers, and they have no fucking clue what they're thinking of. They think any
What do
library.
they think libraries do? Jesus.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I'm in a library right now, right?
They're reading our books for free, guys. They're just
I know.
stealing our content. It's like,
Yeah.
it's at a fucking library. Can you be a little bit charitable at least?
Discoverability.
Oh, come on.
It's discoverability. I
Yes.
find my next best read by looking at those books in the library. It's so stupid. Anyway, so this means some of the implications of that. If I am a longtime author, the library is no longer going to carry any of my older titles. They're only going to have the latest thing. So suppose I have a 7-book series. They're only going to have the last couple of books in that series. Nobody's going to be able to go to the library and read the whole thing.
Huh.
Is that what they're really trying to do? Is to weed out the old books from the library? Is that the real objective? Is they want them to buy more new stuff?
Yes, that's absolutely it. They want the libraries to acquire more new material from them, and pay just a tremendous amount. So every book that you get,
so
it's $70.
That opens the doors for more independents getting on the library shelves.
Gosh, you think? Because they can have my book forever. I'm not going to sign some kind of 2-year deal. So yes, this is actually a really good trend that's happening for regular authors. For if you are traditionally published, I'm sorry, you're fucked.
Look at that. Look at that.
But yeah.
Booyah!
If you're an independent author, make sure that you are getting into libraries. The easiest way to do that is either through Kobo, which will put your books into overdrive, which is what 70% of library systems use for their books, for the book catalog, for their online book catalog, or Baker Taylor, which you can get into Baker Taylor or Biblioteca, which are both through Draft to Digital.
Yes, I was going to say that's how I am. I use Draft to Digital for those platforms.
Yep. Absolutely.
All you got to do is check the box.
Yep. Check the box and make sure that you have a reasonable price. Okay?
Right.
So one of the things that you're looking at for a library, realize that TradPub is charging between $50 to $70 per book. For an
What?
For an e-book.
What? To the libraries?
Yes.
Wait. How much again? That doesn't make any sense. They're charging what now?
Because they can.
So why don't they just go down to fucking Barnes and Noble and get it?
They're looking for ebooks, right?
Okay.
And so they have to follow through with the overdrive and things like that. Anyway,
$50?
That's robbery, man. Like, what?
Yes, it is. There are reasons why your library doesn't have all of the latest books, and that's a big part of it.
Holy shit.
Yes, and so one of the things that you will want to do is to make sure that your books are not priced at $50, but you still want to have it higher priced for libraries because, and I've talked with librarians about this, if your book is priced too cheaply, they'll think it isn't any good. The acquisitions librarian won't take it up and won't pick it up because they will think that it's low quality. So the general rule of thumb is 3 times the ebook price for your library price. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you're charging $4.99, charge the library $14.99.
And you can do that. You can make that price separate for the for the libraries on Draft to Digital.
Yes, you can.
Wow.
Well then,
I'm learning something right now. I'm learning a lot, really, about how grimy these.
I haven't changed them any
services are.
But it just seems like yet another instance where traditional publishers are, playing Russian roulette with all the chambers full.
Yep. Absolutely. And so, but this, to go back to my original point, we learn this because we get a daily email from Publishers Weekly that tells us the sorts of information so that way we can stay informed about our business because this is our business.
No, I didn't be more tapped into that. I'm learning a lot here. I'm learning a lot.
That's why I wanted to come back and talk business.
That's good. I'm enjoying this.
Yeah.
I mean, we've
so
got
much.
I know we had some news things planned. I mean, we can quickly go through that, I guess. Something about crazy Florida woman. What's going on with the Florida woman?
Just keep going.
No, just let her keep talking.
All right. Well, what else is going on?
I'm taking notes. Shut up, Jesse.
All right. So, besides the grimy practices that are taking advantage of our libraries, what else do we need to know?
Oh, so one more add-on to that. So how do you do your print copies? Do you use KDP or do you use Ingram? And how does that affect things? Your marketing opportunities.
Okay, so
Ingram.
I originally was doing just Create Space, and I am now doing both KDP print as well as Ingram Spark.
Yep.
Yeah, and so what I do for the KDP print is just, it has no extended distribution. So it is just through the Amazon system
Right.
that they have those print books, and then through Ingram Spark, you do everything else. Now, pricing on print books is also tricky.
Yeah.
Ideally, what you want to do at the end of the day is okay, so for Ingram Sparks, you specify what it is that you want as a bookstore discount, and whether or not you can have returns. So for a bookstore discount, I always do 50% off of list price.
Okay.
And then for return, I say no returns.
Okay.
So they get 50% off, but they can't return the book.
Sounds good.
Well, some bookstores will take that, some bookstores will not. But what they need to do, what I need to do is still be able to make a profit off of that, right?
Yeah.
And so you end up doing lots of experimenting on the Ingram, how much should I charge for this book page?
Right.
Where even with the 50% discount and things like that, you're still making about $2.
Okay.
That tends to be my rule of thumb.
All right. Now, have you played around with the KDP extended distribution? I know they added something like that. Have you played around with that?
That used to be how I did all of my books, was through extended distribution. I'm now going through Ingram Spark. We are seeing more print sales, but quite frankly, print sales are so minimal for us, and that's because of our genres, right?
Yeah.
We are in science fiction and fantasy. These are some of the romance is the only genre that has fewer print books than science fiction and fantasy. I mean, seriously, 70 to 80% of all books that get consumed by science fiction and fantasy readers are ebooks. They're not print books.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we sell so few print books. It is important to have it out there. People will buy them, but because you're leaving money on the table if you don't, and you don't look like a professional if you don't have it. But it's not as much of a moneymaker for us at all.
And do you do stuff like book signings and events like that?
Nope.
Interesting.
Wait. You said no, or?
I said no.
Oh, you don't do. Oh, okay.
And now I'm going to step back from that a little. Now I'm going to step back a little bit from that. We do go to a couple of conventions in the area. For example, Orient, which will be coming up in November, which is the Portland science fiction fantasy convention. And so we will be doing signings there, and we will have books there. But for the most part, no, we don't do that. It doesn't pass the WIBO test.
The what?
What's the WIBO test?
WIBBOW. Would I be better off writing?
Ah. So the opportunity cost.
Yep, opportunity cost way too high, and I don't want to carry stock.
Oh, well, I mean, I guess so. I mean, but aren't there authors or indie authors that make it work for them? I mean, are the ones that do the book signings and stuff, or?
In my experience, and I know people who have been doing this for a while and getting a lot and doing a lot of hand sales, right?
Yeah.
And they may sell out at a convention, which means they've sold 10 copies.
Wow. And how much does a booth cost? How much does a table cost?
Exactly.
$400 or better.
Yep. Exactly. And so they
Jesus.
might make back their expenses. And the other thing to think about for print books is that a print book, they've done studies on this, a print book will have between 7 to 10 people who read it. Right? So somebody picks it up, they read it, they like it, they don't love it, they give it to a used bookstore, and then it goes through a whole bunch of other writers, and so a whole bunch of other readers, and so you have a lot of opportunities for discoverability, which is one of the reasons why you do print books.
Okay.
And so there are halo effects with print books that you can't really track on the one hand. On the other hand, selling it at a convention, man, it is just not worth my time.
Okay. Now, what about, like, I take it that you have a fan base, right? Do you have, like, a fan following?
I've got people on my but I have people who read every single one of my newsletters and click every single one of my newsletters and keep emailing me and talking with me. And I have people on Facebook who I have long conversations with. And so, yeah, I think I have a fan base.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Now, do you all ever do like meetups or things at like conventions to interact with them in person? We
have not yet, but we have certainly started thinking about that, setting up a coffee clatch. And what would we do at a coffee clatch? It would be, gosh, come and talk to us for an hour and we're going to talk business.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
And I think that people would want to do that.
Now, is that something that like you would charge for? Would it be...
Yeah.
Okay.
Nope. It'd be at a convention such as Oricon. But let me put it this way: this last Oricon last year, when I went, I had, I don't know, it was like 8 or 10 people who showed up for my reading, and I pulled the room, and I'm like, okay, who wants to hear me read from my work, and who wants to talk business for the next hour? Everyone I was like, business.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's going to happen. I bet they're real hungry too. Real hungry.
Yeah.
They want to make
exactly
after
because
work.
We had just come back from NINC, from the Novelist Incorporated convention, where we had learned so much and about what we were going to be doing in the next year. So as a publishing house, I talked about some of the things that we had planned for 2019. It is now 2019. You want to hear how some of that's gone?
Sure. How's it going?
Okay. So the big things that we came back from NINC was we had a contact for translation.
All right. Oh.
So we translated one of my husband's science fiction novellas into German.
Oh, I think you told me. Yeah, I think you told us about this before. Okay.
Was that spendy?
It was spendy. It was absolutely spendy. It was about $2,500.
Yeah.
It is going to pay for itself by the end of this month, and so we put it up middle of May.
How do you know that they did a good job?
One of my best friends is German. And I had her look through it.
Okay. And wait. In that time span, it's already going to pay for itself?
Yep.
Okay. And remind me again, when did it get
May?
Published in May,
Say May 15th
of this year?
Through July, yeah.
Wow.
Of this year.
Okay. And it's already paying for itself.
Yeah, it should be paid for. It should have paid for itself by the end of July.
Okay. And we're talking about an expensive process, translating the whole book into German. And what kind of book is this?
It is a science fiction novella called The Science Officer.
A novella, too. Okay. Interesting.
Yep. And it's got space pirates and snark.
Snark? Okay. All right. Now, I have to ask, what's the secret with that one, too? Is there a secret? Is there a secret handshake? Is there a secret recipe? Is there something with the font you used? What is it? What is it, Miss Cutter? There has to be something.
We did some research.
Damn it, that sounds like more work. Everything she suggests is work. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah,
where's the free ride?
Wait,
yep.
Miss Cutter, you expect this to work? Come on now.
It is your publishing empire. You're the one that gets to do all that and be in charge of it. So yeah, so the German translation has gone really well. We've also done audio. We've also done an experiment with audio where we released a series with print, ebook, and audio all available at the same day.
Mm-hmm.
And that
was that a novel or
Yep. 5 novel series.
Oh,
Again, spendy.
yeah.
Yeah. And so that experiment has not been as successful in terms of return on investment.
Oh, it hasn't been? It has not been
No.
successful.
That has not been anywhere near as successful.
Oh, that's kind of...
Yeah.
Well, I'm surprised by that because audiobooks I thought they're real popular right now, right?
Yep, exactly. And that's what we keep hearing. Now, one of the things that we find very, very interesting, when we produce the audiobooks, we distribute them through a service called Findaway Voices, which is associated with Drafted Digital.
Okay.
Okay. And they have like...
Isn't that, don't you find talent there? Don't you audition talent to that?
You can also audition talent there. We found our own audio guy that we used, and he was fabulous. Oh my God, he's absolutely wonderful. I adore him to pieces. I would recommend him in a heartbeat. J.S. Arquin. So he did such a great job. So we went through Findaway Voices. There were 35 distribution channels that we went through, and all the audiobooks are now available in libraries. Guess what has been our best seller? Libraries.
Really?
Yeah.
Audiobooks through the library.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating.
But they're only going to keep them for like 2 years, and then they have to rebuy the audiobooks because, you want to double dip.
Exactly.
Man,
No, they get them forever.
I'm still surprised about that. That's so grimy, man. Especially the price.
Oh, it's not just grimy. It's short-sighted.
Yeah.
Yep. But it started with the Randy Penguin, right? They were the ones that first said, okay, we're going to go with this trend, and you're only going to be able to rent our books from us, right? And then this last week, Simon Schuster stood up and said, yeah, we're going to do the same thing too.
Wow.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And of course, the libraries will spend that money, taxpayer money, because it's there. God dang it. Okay, I need to sell my books to libraries. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Okay.
Seriously, this is a market that I think that all indie writers should be addressing at this time. It's getting your stuff into libraries.
I don't know if they're in a demand for horror anthologies, but I'll see. I'll see if they want
Try
that.
it.
I had no idea those libraries were being gouged to that extent, price-wise.
Yeah.
Man.
That's outrageous.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff with TradPub that's just outrageous. But anyway.
Well, okay. You know what? One thing, I think we talked about this last time. We're hinting on it here now. I mean, what are your thoughts? Traditional versus self-publishing, indie publishing. Like, what do you think about that? I mean,
Pros and cons on each side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When you indie publish, you are in control of everything. You are in control of the edits. You are in control of the cover. You are in control of the distribution. You are in control of the price. You can put it into sales. You can put it into bundles. You can do all of this stuff. Why would you go with a traditional publisher? I see no benefit whatsoever, particularly not with the rights grabs that they're now doing. Because at this time, you have a traditional publisher who will take all the rights for your book for the life of the copyright.
But I want to get that Stephen King life, man. I want to be like him. I want to be.
You're looking for a magic handshake.
Yeah.
Oh man, this episode's gonna piss off a lot of people. I'm gonna share this out.
Yeah,
there.
traditional publishing
I just want
is
that Oprah sticker.
Yep, exactly. That is a magic handshake. It is not actually going to get you what you want. One of the things that my husband and I ask on a frequent basis is, do you want to be rich or do you want to be famous? Mm-hmm. If you want to be famous, then you're going to go with TradPub. If you want to be rich, you need to do indie.
All right. So those that are struggling to go indie, though, a lot of people that listen, they write hard here. And as we looked at before, the hard genre might not be where you want to go necessarily. I'm just saying. I don't know how much money is in hard genre.
Are you writing books of the heart? Are you writing the things that really excite you, that make you get up in the morning?
It's actually the blood pumpy heart thing.
Yeah. I'm writing about hearts. They're coming out of the body and stuff,
I do, actually, because I write some really dark epic fantasy every once in a while. If you are having a good time while you are eviscerating all of those bodies and things like that, it will translate into the writing. Cool. And people will also, who are reading it, are going to have that same feeling. Mm. And are going to be entertained, right? Going back to the entertainment part.
Yeah.
And so if you're doing all the things that make you happy in terms of the writing and like that, you will be able to find an audience. It may not be a large audience because it's horror, but you should be able to find an audience.
And it doesn't look like it would take much either, especially just look at the covers, what you're competing with. It's like, as long as your cover looks readable and... right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. How to stand out. Oh, what? They have to be able to read the title? What the fuck?
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, imagine that. You have to be able to read the title. You have to be able to...
Let's see. I'm trying to think of
they're just so bad.
The typical arguments about tradition. Oh, but the gatekeepers of quality.
Yeah, I would like to remind you that Snooki is a New York Times bestseller. So is Kim Kardashian. Next.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
It is no guarantee of quality. It is absolutely no guarantee of quality, particularly since some New York publishers no longer do copy edits. With the contract, they send a list of people to whom they want the author to send the manuscript for copy edits, and the author is expected to pay for it.
Well, fuck that shit.
And wait, and someone like Kim Kardashian would agree to that deal? I
mean, they would not pass that. That is not a Kim Kardashian deal. That is a deal that they would send to a brand new author who has no clout.
Wow, getting fucked over.
I've seen those contracts. I know it happens.
And they ask for everything. Like you lose.
Yep, and they ask for all rights. You lose all rights to that intellectual property.
And for what? For like little pennies? Like what?
Yep.
What's the royalty rate normally?
At this point, you might get a $2,000 advance.
And would you ever expect to earn more than that?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
So for $2,000, and you guys have made back a $2,500 investment in a German translation in a matter of 2 months, 3 months,
2.5 months.
Yeah. Just for comparison.
Yeah, just for comparison. Hell, they're in Nick. Nick. And you have to show earnings. You have to prove yourself for that.
Yep.
Yep. All right. Any other advice for aspiring writers? I know I'm not for looking for handshakes, but just I think.
I have one other piece of advice that I always give to new writers who are just starting off the indie publishing experiment. Buy yourself a hat.
A hat.
A hat?
Yes, because when you are a writer, you are a writer, and that is the mindset that you need to be in. Now, you need to step to the side once you have finished something and it is completely finished. It has gone through copy edits, everything like that. Now, put on the hat and you are a publisher. And it is a very different business mindset.
Yeah.
You can no longer be an artist. Now you have to be the publisher. Now you have to maybe possibly look at spreadsheets. You're going to have to think about marketing and everything like that. Never let the marketing troll into your writing office. Right?
Okay.
When you're writing, write your books to the heart. Write what you're passionate about. Write what you have fun writing. Be that entertainer. Entertain yourself while you're doing this. Once that's finished, though, you hand it to the publisher, and the publisher then takes over. And the publisher makes the decisions about the cover, not the writer.
Yeah, that makes a
The
lot of
publisher
sense.
makes decisions about the marketing. The publisher is the one who has to do all of those things, not the writer. And so, yes, that's the last piece of advice that I generally have for new author publishers who are about to start on their own publishing empire. Buy a hat.
Okay, buy a hat.
Buy a hat. And now the librarian just came and knocked on the door in the little study room where I am.
Okay,
And so I'm going to have to
This is
leave.
perfect time.
We
now.
have to have you back.
Yeah, we'll talk to you.
Bunch
Talk
of
to you
times.
again, Miss Cutter. It was great having you on the show. Thank you so much. This is great advice. This is good
Fantastic
information.
stuff.
Enjoy this talk.
Good. And so maybe we'll come back in September or October where I'm experimenting with serializing a book online during the month of October. So maybe I show up in November and I report back to you guys.
All right, sounds good.
Fantastic.
All right, Miss
Okay,
Cutter,
good.
Take it
Thank
easy.
you so much. I'm hanging up.
All right, bye.
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 All right, so I think Becky had a
Holy cats.
step.
Yeah, Becky
step
had
away.
to leave. Yeah.
Yeah, but that is a lot of information, a lot of process. It was like you caught me, right? She caught me at the beginning. I was like, wait, you're not
Right?
following trends? What do you mean you're not comparing keyword trends and stuff like that? What? I was like,
Yeah.
but I'm thinking like someone who's just trying to follow the market.
Well, honest to God, I have caught myself, looking back, I can say, I've been looking for that one great review or the one person, who'll read the book and it'll change everything, that kind of shit.
Yeah, I mean, if we're all gonna be honest, I think we all have, right?
Yeah.
Because that would be great. I'm sure we dream of that. Man, if we just have that
Right.
one lucky break. Sure, yeah.
Exactly.
Win the lottery. Might as well just pray for that. Oh, man. But good content. I know this episode
But
was
the good news is it's actually really good news for authors
Mhm.
that you don't have to have that. You can make it without that.
You can.
You got a better, if you take things into your own hands and you work hard, you can make it
Yeah. And of course,
without hitting a home run.
of course, by working hard, we're talking consistently write
Every
every
day.
single day. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she's not joking when she says she has a schedule. She pumps out material. What she said? The 23rd? What was it? 12th? I wrote this.
Yeah.
Down. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Every month
21st.
she's got something going out.
Yeah. That's clockwork, man.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's how you do that, folks.
Now I know this
40
episode.
titles.
40 titles. It's in like what she's working on her 12th nonfiction. Crazy.
Yeah.
That's impressive. I know this episode was very more technical, but business related. But I hope everyone enjoyed it. I hope y'all did.
I did.
I did too. I did too.
Wait, I've met her and her husband, and they're fantastic people.
Oh yeah. Okay. That's cool. Did you meet him at Nick? Nick?
No, they
Oh.
actually have a couple of Facebook groups for local authors to get together and talk. Guess what? Business.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah. Just meet at a restaurant and chat for a couple hours and have a good meal and it's get to know each other and talk about business.
And what you said about conventions was interesting too, because of course, there was another publisher that I'm thinking about right now. They kind of went south, but the guy would hit up conventions all the time, try to sell books and all that stuff. But he was promoting the idea, but I think he was hustling really hard at those conventions. He was like really trying to push the books. Now, of course, the publishing went south, so that could mean one thing or the other. I know the guy had some personal things in his life too, but I've only been to one.
Well, I happen to have a lot of Facebook friends in the romance author industry.
Oh yeah,
and they have very deep-seated mythologies around how you sell your books, and one of those is going to signings all over the country.
Oh, does it work for them?
I don't think so, but that's what they hear when they start up. Is this is what you do? This is how you do it. You're active in groups and you go to signings. These people spend small fortunes on their displays for their book signings, and they give away bits of swag. and
Man, I only been to one convention, and I'm cheap. I got the cheapest table. I didn't. My table literally had like this poster board stuff. Like it's like colorful, bright, like pink, bright stuff. Because I wanted to catch people's eyes. Like, what sort of tacky table is that? But you know what? I sold the most there. I sold the most. I'm not kidding you, man. I sold the most.
If you standing out, there's something to be said for that, right? If you're gonna go tacky, go super tacky, so that it looks like you did it on purpose.
Yeah. I mean, I came in like a sleazy salesman. I felt like I had like all my stuff in a briefcase, put it all out there. And people would come by the table and say, hey, you like Stephen King? You like Lovecraft? You got to check out this book. Check out this book. Come on. Hey, where are you going? You like to read? Hey, you like Lovecraft? Come over here. Let me show you something. But that's how you have to do it. It got so bad to where I'm not going to say the publisher's name, but I think she got the people, and I was friends with them too. I still am. They got me to walk outside and have some pizza while they could sell their books, because I was hogging the scene, I was hogging it.
Hey Jesse, we got this special meeting of publishers out back here in the alley. And they shove you out and lock the door.
Yeah, right.
For definitely in the romance genre, these big book signings are, they're a staple, and I just can't see how people make any money off of that. Yeah. And I think that they think, the mythology is that, it's as much to be seen and get your name out there and get name recognition, But honestly, if it's not paying for itself, and like she says, if your opportunity costs are too high, in other words, not just the money that you spend on it, but the time that you put into it, you're not creating something new.
Yeah, that's right. Because there's a lot of money. They put a lot of money into their booths. You're right.
Yeah, absolutely. Thousands.
And they see other people do that too, so they want to outcompete and out impress, I guess. Oh, look at that table. That table's real fancy. I want to have an impressive table as well. You're not going to get someone like me who goes in there with a questionable looking table selling
Sharpies and
questionable romance.
Cardboard.
Wait. Is that guy selling romance or he's selling erotica? What are you selling over there? Hey, want to buy some books? Oh, God. Okay. Well, this show, man, this episode has been great. I know we had some other stuff to talk about. We'll talk about it later, I guess. The only thing I missed, the caption contest and the horrible cover segment. The horrible cover segment, we'll do that. Later on.
Next time.
There's not going to be a show this Friday because I'll be on call for work. So probably whenever the next Deadman Stone podcast will be on. We're trying to shift it towards every Friday, but I think we have some guests lined up, so it might be Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. It's coming up. Just Horrible.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Yeah. Subscribe, like, share. It helps a whole lot. Y'all take it easy.
Night.